Good evening, everyone. Afternoon, morning also works. Thanks for stopping by. If it's your first time watching, thanks for clicking. I highly recommend you go back and watch the other videos in this series. Today is going to be the final part of the Diminishing Resources and Deteriorating Environmental Conditions on Our Planet little mini-series. And similar to our final part, today is talking about extinction. This is a little batch from the much larger video focusing on this paper, which is the backbone to the rest of the series, called Global Warming, Climate Change, and Environmental Pollution, Recipe for a MACTAC Factorial Stress Combination Disaster, by the authors Sarah Zandalinas, Felix Frasicci, and Ron Mittler. Again, I am so deeply sorry if I have mispronounced those names. This is like the whole point of all of the miniseries. This is the whole point of everything. Let's talk about extinction because it's very important. We need to do something and say something about it. We are seeing a severe decline in tens of thousands of species and the drastic increase of the number of species that are threatened with extinction. Amongst the next three slides, I'm going to be going over that. Guys, it's a problem. I don't know how to put that in any other way, but then this is a problem that we need to address 20 years ago, okay? If not tomorrow. In these two figures here, we can see on the figure on the right is the total number of species threatened with extinction. And it goes by certain categories. We can see roughly on this one, it's 47,187. The majority of those are plants, with the second biggest category being vertebrates, like you and I. We have a spine. And again, this is also showing the same thing. It's saying more than 47,000 are threatened with extinction, and it's breaking down by amphibians, mammals, conifers, reptiles, coral reefs, and a bunch of different other categories. It's important to note, although both of these figures are true and very accurate, it is more likely than not, by a very significant margin, that this number is a significant underestimation of the total number of species at risk. That is because these are the number of species that we as humans have been able to observe their populations. There are millions of other species that we just haven't been able to count. One, because we don't know of. Two, because it's hard. There's lacking funding. There's a lot of geopolitical reasons. So this number is probably a lot higher. Of all those species that we have been able to observe, it's what is known as assessed species. 28% of those are threatened. That's what these numbers are showing here. So where exactly are we getting these numbers from? Well, they come from the IUCN Red List, which is an international inventory of the global conservation status and extinction risk of biological species. Okay, so who creates this list? The International Union on Conservation and Nature creates these lists, and they are an international organization working in the field of nature conservation and sustainable use of natural resources. It's important to note that they have global authority on the status of the natural world and the measures needed to safeguard it. The IUCN lists are continuously updated, changing the status and adding or removing species from a certain category. So here, every assessed species fall within this category. We have least concern. These are species that we just have no concern for extinction. Great, perfect, love that. And it ranges all the way to extinct species, which these are species that no longer exists on the planet anymore. Between that range, we have what is known as near threatened species, and these are just species that are vulnerable to endanger in the near future. However, they don't currently qualify for a threatened status. And then we have the next three categories: vulnerable, endangered, and critically endangered, which some of you may have heard some of these terms. These together make up what is known as threatened species, where vulnerable species have a risk for extinction in the wild. Endangered species have a higher risk, and critically endangered species have the highest risk of extinction in the wild. After that, we have what is known as extinct in the wild species. So these species only survive in captivity, and they no longer exist in the wild. If you're curious about the specific criteria of each one of these categories, you can find them on the IUCN website at IUCNRedlist.org or on the IUCN Red List Wikipedia page. I'm not gonna lie, this is when it gets real, these next two slides. And it's kind of like the whole point of this entire presentation is in these two slides. I'm not trying to discredit any of the information said or the importance of the information that has said. I just want you to know that like this is the time for us to wake up, to open our eyes and fucking do something about it, okay? I'm creating educational content to do something about it, okay? Like we all have ways to do something, okay? When a high percentage of species dies out across the board, it is known as a mass extinction event. In Earth's history, a mass extinction event has occurred a total of 5 times, all of which were caused by events that organisms did not have knowledge that they were doing something wrong. For example, at the end of the Triassic, the seafloor started spreading, caused a mass extinction event. This caused an increase in CO2, which caused a lot of global warming. Sound familiar? This CO2 then acidified the oceans, along with the oceans becoming warmer, causing the death of many species. Sound familiar? This was, by the way, the 4th major mass extinction event. And it eventually created the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, creating the Atlantic Ocean and separating North and South America from Europe and Africa. And in this process, caused the supercontinent of Pangaea to break up. Today, extinction rates are now between 110,000 times higher than the background extinction rate. And no, the seafloor isn't spreading in the same way that it was at the end of the Triassic. And no, an asteroid is not about to hit us. So what really are the causes of the Holocene extinction, or the 6th mass extinction that we find ourselves in? Well, they are all things that 1, a single species is doing intentionally, and 2, could be avoided and even reversed if we stopped and or make the environment our priority before anything else. We are not technically in extinction, but if nothing else changes and this proceeds to continue to happen, in the history books, this period that we live in right now, recording this in 2025, whenever you're watching it, I presume to be in 2026, will be known as the years during the midst of the 6th mass extinction. This is all because of the remaining information on this slide. 1, the unsustainable and inefficient use of our land, water, and energy, where 40% of our land is dedicated to inefficient use of agriculture alone. Number 2 is because of habitat loss. That is the elimination of natural environments and is the leading cause for the loss of biodiversity seen across the globe. In this picture here, we can kind of see that happening. This once was a picture of the Amazon rainforest. You can see here, there's an extinct line. This probably goes across like right here. I can't really see because of the clouds. And this all has already been lost. So what is happening? So trees are being cut down, then the land is burned, and what used to be the most biodiverse place on the planet ends up being farmland. And the trees are being sold for any paper products. Among with this, there is a whole host of issues occurring because of our direct effect, which I won't have time to get into in this video, but we shouldn't be doing this for many, many reasons. The third reason that this mass extinction is happening is because of climate change, again, which is the dramatic change in climate, mainly driven by global warming and us artificially changing the environment. Here, we are artificially changing this environment. 4 is pollution, and in particular, the creation of plastics and forever chemicals that break down and accumulate in every single living system on Earth. And 5, but certainly not least, is overexploitation of species through farming, hunting, and overfishing. And that is what the left side of this figure is showing. Through many ways, humans are artificially increasing our greenhouse gases, specifically CO2, into the atmosphere. This, again, is going to, 1, warm the oceans and also acidify it. That alone was the cause of the 4th mass extinction event. I just want to put that out there. We are also polluting our environments through waste, causing algae blooms, again, through plastics, which is causing dead zones in the ocean and on land. Again, coral is dying because oceans is getting too hot. And among all the other ways we have already seen in this video, we are killing the earth. There's no and ifs or buts if it's humans or natural causes, and then there's no and ifs or buts if it's occurring or not. It is occurring, whether or not we see it directly where you live or through educational content such as this. Other places around the world have already started to see the direct effects of humans. Okay, guys, this slide alone might get me in trouble, but I don't really fucking care. To put this video into a nice, neat little bow, and if you crunch down the numbers of across the board for all the reasons, account for everything, climate change and the sixth mass extinction event are undoubtedly caused by human activity and are primarily caused by following three. Corporate greed, which is the excessive pursuit of profit, period, and wealth by corporations, often at the expense of ethical standards, employee welfare, consumer interests, and environmental sustainability. Oh, there actually should be a period right here. 2, by consumerism, which refers to the continuous acquisition of goods and services in an ever-increasing quantities. We don't have to buy shit. Stop buying shit. Circle economy, build our own stuff, okay? Stop letting corporate greed trick you into buying stuff that we don't need. I don't know how else to say that. And 3, caused by the lack of, very important, the lack of environmental policies, which are sets of principles, strategies, and actions designed to manage and protect the environment from the negative impacts of human activities. This figure here shows all the things that we have talked about today, all of which industries have not set any suitable environmental policies and are generating a large carbon footprint just so they can obtain larger profits. And so in the creation of power, in manufacturing goods, in powering buildings, in producing food, using transportation, cutting down forests, and consuming too much. These are all direct causes that a single species is having on the entire planet. I hope now that everyone is starting to understand if we continue with how we are doing things today, we are not going to make it to the next century, let alone have a hospitable future for our future generations. We're all connected to nature, and what we do today will shape the future for thousands of years. As of December 2025, the US administration removed human causes of climate change from the EPA website. What's the EPA? The Environmental Protection Agency. And if that doesn't say anything about how the state of the US current affairs is, I don't know what else will. The Environmental Protection Agency is saying that humans are no longer the cause of climate change. Through this video today, I hope you understand that humans are directly the cause of climate change. And in this picture here, I just want to show you the cause. Many of you don't see the effects of climate change until it's too late. This is just a mound of trash. Where is this trash coming from? What companies are producing it? Why aren't they caring about the end of life of these products? The vast majority of which are plastics. Plastics that are going to stay for hundreds of years. And these companies keep on producing like it's no one's business because the numbers go up. Unfortunately, many companies currently prefer short-term profits over long-term suitable futures. That's it. Anyways, I can go on and on and on. So please check out some more videos if I have them produced. Thank you for watching and listening to my tech talk and letting me explain the much larger story that Figure 1 was trying to explain. I hope to see you in the next video and that everyone is going to have a great rest of your day and know that I love every single one of you. And now, here are my sources.